Oh, violence. Uh, I have lately watched videos that discuss about mental health in YouTube and in English from America. I like to be in America, everything in America. Okay, sorry. Violence. There has been some subjects that raise concern about how those people that trigger easily confronts situation that threatens them somehow, and violence is the fear of violence, and when you see the situation in front of you, that's the most triggering thing that there is for any living being that there is. So at Thursday I am going to see my own neuropsychiatrist, neuropsychology, sorry, and I am going to ask how what are what can do what that person do who has some problems in mental health and has some perhaps diagnosis and have difficulties to react in things, triggers easily, and that the person confronts a situation where is violence to be faced, as said, because what that one patient can do, and I don't know. At Thursday I am going to ask it, and this person is professional for, if I remember correct, after 40 years, and knows is one of the honored professionals that there are to be found from Finland, and this person knows how the symptoms go in synapses and such, and how all things connect, quite the breathing and muscle tension and such. I don't know what I'm going to hear, and I'm pretty sure there is no one answer to anything. But what I know is for sure that violence is never an answer, and to have these thoughts of destroying somebody, to have a revenge, to take your own side with violence and such, that's never a good thing, because if something bad happens, you have to live with it to that other person. So I really don't like that talk when you pump up your muscles, pump up your muscles and show your guns and show your knives and threaten somebody at any means. That's not a good thing to anybody. Even if you are the victim, there has to be other ways to protect yourselves, and there has to be another ways to protect your mind, to protect your body, and still be who you are, as vulnerable as you are, and to talk sensible things in this life without to be threatened from anybody. YouTube is what people make YouTube. Internet is what people make internet to be. So if we don't care enough to say our opinion, what is okay and what is not, then it is what it is. But if we say, as many people as possible, that we want this space to be this and that, those who want to destroy it become minority, because when we speak, we create what is real and what is not, but we have to speak it first. Was it today, or was it was perhaps today morning when I watched some commentary channels live stream about words and about people offending from everything. For now I have really liked her a lot, but what she talked about, don't want to mention any names, what she talked about people offending nowadays from everything. Words don't mean things. Of course they do mean things. Every word a person uses creates a picture, and that is a culture. And if we demand people not to be offended from words that offends them, we want to create a culture that looks like our own. If people get offended by words, we should perhaps understand that there are reasons behind those feelings, and perhaps that word means something bad. Perhaps that word means something bad for them. So it's basic culture thing. It's basic studies from anthropology. Word happens to mean something. Duh. It's not that difficult to understand. And if somebody gets offended, the person has really own reasons for that. And the only way you know what the reasons are is to be with ears in the place, not saying that you have no right. You have no right to hear words. You have no right to understand words. You have no right to react to words. Why on earth would person listen to somebody? Why on earth would some person read something if you cannot feel the word? Sometimes I don't understand people. but she is from different culture than me, and I know from in America things are not the same as here in Finland, to say the least. So that's why I believe that my age and my own nationality and my own language makes the difference here, that I perhaps didn't understand what she said. I believe, because I've seen she's very, very wise woman, but I didn't like what she said at all. At all. So I have to take a break from her. Here in Finland, it started just from that those people who says that don't get offended from everything are those people that are racists. And it's so bad nowadays. It started with small words, and now it's so bad that I cannot be in Twitter at all. I cannot. Facebook is quite good regarding of the situation in Finland, but Twitter is no-go area nowadays. It is full of racist people who demands that you cannot be offended from words. They have the power use words as they will, and they demand that power to say other people what they can feel and they cannot feel, and that is not good. That you take the power to understand words from individuals. So that's why I got a bit angry about her speaking of those things. But maybe I understood wrong. Back to the subject, what I am speaking of. Violence. If I have any fishes in my aquarium that are fighting, I make another aquarium and I place fishes that go along well. I cannot watch that. My job is to create as good life as possible to my fishes. And I learned when I was young, teenager, I was with my brain damage. I was in the city that is called here in Finland Chicago, and I was one of those who kind of, I was all the time I was ready to fight, and I didn't like to be any gangs. I was a lone walker. Funny. And I remember if someone perhaps looked me too long, I was like, okay, why are you doing that? Stop it or face consequences. Not very intelligent. And it's still in me, the fighter. And then I got the honor to have a dog in my life, and with that dog I learned that you have to deserve respect. If you want to be a leader, you have to deserve? Did I say that? You have to earn your place. And that comes by daily life, that comes by daily situation, that comes by who you are and how you act, how trustworthy you are. And dogs have taught me more than any human. but nowadays my child. But anyways, and then I had some instances that made me question my own violence, and is it good to react that way? And I went to the Aikido, and after a few years of training, perhaps 3 times a week, and some weekend courses, weekend practices, I learned, but it took several years, I learned that the fighter who wins the fight is the one who never fights. And it was quite important. I don't remember the sensei's name, but it was a really important learning situation for me when he asked me to come with the and I was at first I was yes, no, this comes here, this comes. Then I forgot. Somehow I got the feeling, why on earth people fight in this world? And my whole body was full of relaxation and happy feelings and birds singing and butterflies flying. And the sensei laughed at me. What happened? I was going to hit. Why I didn't hit? And that's the situation. I'm not weak victim blaming here, because you have to be master, you have to be sensei to be able to do such things, to control somebody's mind, not to attack you. And I really sure are not good at that, but the situation is when you start, you see somebody who wants to attack you, you kind of make yourself a mirror of those feelings, and you feel like, oh, let's start this. Yeah, let's see what you got. And if you want to learn Aikido, you want to unlearn that behavior, and you want to learn to be like a water flow or a wind. Water flow is perhaps a better word. And everything that the other one who wants to attack you signals, you let it kind of go. You perhaps take it, but you let it go. You take it and you let it go, let it go. And at sometimes I know how it happens, how to do it, and I believe in that if you are good enough in Aikido, in mind controlling, kind of mind controlling, you know how to look away in the situation that the other one has to look away too. What did that person see? And then you perhaps do something. This sounds a bit like victim blaming, but I am not aiming to that. I am aiming to self-control. I am aiming to hope that there might be something that you can do in the situation of violence. And I would like to know what those things are. And in the mental health community, speaking of those who has no has some symptoms that makes their life a bit difficult, or perhaps creates an invaliditet. Sorry, my Finnish. There would be, could be, should be important discussion about how to, what are those things that you can do without harming anybody, not yourself and not the other one. Because in the situation of violence, oh my Finnish, in the situation of violence, you should always start from kind of go away from that situation. Defend yourself, yes, in the speaking manner or in the internet, but if you confront that person and that person wants to give you violence, sorry my wordings, in that situation, because things can get bad, and it may happen that the person who wants to defend themselves from the violence may hurt badly the person who started it. In court, they see it as it lessens the tuomio in court. So you perhaps are not going to prison, not that long time or so, but or you don't have to pay so much money for the other people, but there is always that chance that nothing happens to you and the other one gets hurt, and you have to live with that. And that's not a good choice. Sorry, I'm not a good speaker. At Thursday I am going to ask this, what to do. And this is something I discuss with my child a lot. If something happens, if something bad happens, what do you do? What's the good way to react? That's perhaps the adulthood. Perhaps. Oh my god, I'm sometimes quite... That is adulthood. When you tell your child what are the good reactions when something bad happens. I laugh at myself. But showing your muscles, showing your knives, showing your guns is not an answer. Because that is the circle of violence then. And even a small person, if bad things happens, even a small person can cause really bad things as an accident, and that small person has to live with it the rest of its life. So no violence. Whew, sorry, quite a long video. Take care, enjoy your life, make your world a better place. I'll come back, quite sure. Bye.